Hey everyone, you may or may not know me, and you're probably wondering why I'm in the dark. But I was in the dark for so long that it took a very long time for me to get in the light. And I'm giving you some information that may help you as a parent, as a grandmother, as a sister, as a brother, when it comes to autistic children. I have a 7-year-old boy, and he's amazing. Oh my goodness. Words can describe how amazing he is. He is autistic and nonverbal. But he's a 7-year-old boy first. And it took a very, very long time for me to actually accept the fact that he may be autistic. When he was 9 months old, he was talking. Mama, dad, the normal no, stop. And it's funny because I remember my aunt reaching out to give him a hug or, to pick him up. And he said, stop. So it was just, you have your moments where you remember so much. And he started I guess just stopped developing. He wasn't walking. And I was around a lot of family members that was in education, and they would say, you may want to get him checked. And of course, me being a parent, I'm like, no, nothing's wrong with my baby. He's fine. It's good. It just takes time. He's going to do it in his own time. And I'm not going to rush him, Of course, you don't want to rush your kids to grow up. They're babies. You want to just enjoy the moments. But started getting around more people. They start judging and saying little small things. And you start wanting to just be by yourself, and you and him, and not be around anyone. And then you, of course, spend more time with him, and you go to parks and you see him standing there and he's looking around and watching all the other kids play, and he's not responding to it. He's not laughing. He's not trying to go play and get on a slide and swing, and he's just standing there. So you start to question yourself and think, well, is something wrong? What did I do? Or what can I do? And the worries start kicking in. Your faith level drops. You start to question the things you did before your pregnancy, during your pregnancy, and is anything wrong with you? Is anything wrong with the father? So there it is, fear. So I did finally go to his doctor, and I asked for help. But it took me to realize that he needed help when he might have been asking for help a very long time ago. That was the number one thing that I had to understand and pay attention to. So got to his doctor, and the doctors were giving me all this information. So now I'm loading myself with all this information, and I'm going online. I'm reading about autism, they have so many spectrums of autism, and you try to find out where can I get them tested. And at this time, I'm working 2 jobs and going to school. So finding a time to get him tested, take care of him, work, finish school, it was getting stressful. I had a heavy load on me. I just felt heavy, real heavy. So I finally got him tested, and it came back that he was autistic. So I got him in daycare just so he can get some interaction with children, help with his social skills. And it was working, but it wasn't enough. So I did get him in this program called Early Intervention. It was amazing to see him sit there and learn a lot of the things that you've been trying to teach him yourself as a parent, but he needed more help. So I was working with them. They was working with him at school, and then the behavior starts to kick in. He's biting at school, he's kicking, he's hitting, and you getting phone calls, and now you're like, oh, I don't need my baby to get kicked out of daycare. That's the last thing I need is my baby getting kicked out of daycare. And you pray. All I could do was pray. So when he turned 3, he was able to go to school because of him being in that program, early intervention. So as soon as he turned 3, it was in the middle of the school year. As soon as he turned 3, he went to school. I didn't think he was ready, but it wasn't him that wasn't ready. It was me. So got him in school. The same things were happening. Behavior. And you start to think, am I doing something wrong? And you don't want to let him see you panic. And at that time I was, oh, my baby's okay. He's not biting. He's not hitting. But then when you see the reports, you see the kids being bit, and you start to worry again and worry. But when you're afraid, you literally have to put your trust in God, because it is hard for you to continue to be there for him if you're worried. So I prayed. They, the teachers knew that I needed help. So they started helping me with things that I can do at home to help him. I started going to trainings. We started going to therapy. And with therapy, it's called ABA therapy, behavioral therapy. It taught me how to calm him. And it calmed myself. When I seen him calming down and learning how to calm himself, then it calmed me. But it was times where you still were scared, because here he is, a young man that can't speak for himself in this big world, huge world. I can talk and I'm scared sometimes, but he can't speak. He can't let you know, my stomach hurt, my head's hurting, I fell, I got a bruise under my jeans. He can't let you know that. So by this time, he's 5 years old. And I get to the point like I need some more help. I did take him to Children's Hospital. And they did give him some medication. I know you probably like, oh, medication. Why? Why would you put your baby on medication? There's that judging there. There's that judging. And when it comes to people that judge about the medication, when you're in the situation, it's different. It's no longer looking out. You're in it. Okay? And it wasn't the medication to calm him. It was the medication to calm him and be able to live in this world that he does not understand and he cannot communicate with. So I would rather have my child on medication, being calm, than not be on medication and have to be restrained at school. Do you know how many phone calls I got at him being 3 and 4 for being restrained at school for biting someone? That was not easy. That was not easy at all. I wouldn't put anybody through that. So yes, I did put him on medication. And that was the best thing I could have done for my son. That was the best thing I could have done. So at 5 years old, he's on medication. Still not talking. But his attitude, his aggression calmed down. And you could see his personality. He started laughing more. He was paying attention in school. And it made me feel so much better because I seen the progress that he was doing. And for the longest, seeing him that way, I started, the love for myself was gone. It was leaving. And in order for me to love him like I needed to, I had to gain my love back for myself. And that's the one thing I do want you to get out of this message is love yourself first. Because if you don't even love yourself, how can you love someone else? But, and I know I'm probably saying but and a lot, and I apologize. But this is a touchy subject for me. And I really don't want to leave anything out that I'm trying to tell you or get you to understand. But so he's 5 years old on medication, and you see him laughing and playing at the playground, and you're going around family members again and going around your friends again, and something else happens at a grocery store. He falls out and running around, and you got people staring at you and laughing and pointing, and you just pick him up and you just take him outside. because he doesn't understand, and the people around you don't understand. That's what frustrates me the most, because instead of trying to help her help him, you're judging. Look at her. Why is her kid acting out like that? She needs to go and whoop him. She needs to go do this, and she needs to go do that. But you don't understand. He's nonverbal and autistic. He doesn't understand that we're in a grocery store. He hasn't gotten that communication skill, but yet you're judging. And I know there's a lot of parents out there that had to go through this when it came to the children growing up, the judging. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, nobody can judge you but God. He knows exactly what you're going through, and you will get through it. And I am too. I'm not done telling my son's story, but I'm here to tell you that through all that darkness, there will be light. I promise you. Stay strong. Stay strong. There's not much help here in Huntsville, where I'm located, Huntsville, Alabama. There's not much help here. There's a location here that they tell you to go to. But now that they're saying that they're not even certified to help autistic children. How? They have it to the point that even in school, and he's 7 now, even in school, the teachers are not properly trained on the things that they need to be trained on. One school may have this, the other school may have this. They're just now getting it together to the point that all the schools are linking. But my son's been in school for quite a while. And it's sad. It's real sad. But I do want to tell you all about this incident that made me want to fight for my son a lot more than I have been. At this time, I was working a great job. I loved my job. If anybody knows, you know I loved my job. I love creating, making people happy, making people smile. Because at the end of the day, if I could put a smile on your face, I've done my job. So I was at work and I get a phone call from my dad. And he's upset. It don't take much to get my dad upset. But he can't even talk. He's so upset. And he walks in and he sees my son being restrained. And there's so many different stories when it comes to my son being restrained at this moment. But this is at the end of the day. And the normal time my daddy would normally pick him up. But just so happy he came a little early and walked in. The security guard told him, come on in. Come on in. And once he got in, he seen that. He gave me a call. So imagine you being at home. I mean, not at home, at work. And you can't even breathe anymore. I couldn't function. I started shaking. I was sweating. I was crying. And I was so upset. I knew I didn't need to drive. So, of course, my friend, she came in. She calmed me down before we got on that road. Because all I could do was think about he was 6. My 6-year-old baby boy, my baby, being face down on the ground, screaming. And he can't tell you to get up, stop, help. Face down on the ground. And I know the aides were there helping, trying to keep him calm. But when it comes to autistic children, sometimes you just cannot control them. And I understand that. They can get out of control. But at the same time, I'm thinking of a 6-year-old boy. But what hurt me the most when I found out about it, there were several incidents throughout the day that I could have been called to prevent what happened. Now, I'm not doing this video to bring light on that situation. I'm doing this video on bringing light on us needing help when it comes to autistic children. And to give you some information before you judge any child out there that may be going through this, or any parent, any grandmother, any child, any sitter, any sister or brother that has an autistic child or autistic person in their life. Be mindful of the things that you do, because it does hurt. You got to think about them and what they need at that time. But when that happened, I was mad on the inside. I couldn't let him know, because he feeds off your energy. And the very next day, he was happy-go-lucky. And that's how most autistic children are. They don't understand. They don't hold grudges. They remember things. Don't get me wrong. They remember everything. But they don't hold any grudges like a normal human person would be. That could talk, be upset with you, have an argument with you, and the next day still be mad. But there's love. You have to have love. You have to have love. So, of course, my son still went to this school, because I have faith that he will be okay. He reminded me that he would be okay. He was taken care of. There was nothing for me to worry about. And it took that incident for changes to happen within that school. Yes. I hate that my son was the example, but changes did take place. And thank goodness that I had an amazing job that allowed me to take off work when I needed to, take him to therapy, work early to take him to therapy, take days off when I needed to. And it was so flexible. And the people that I worked with, oh my goodness, they were encouraging. Oh, I had the best mentor ever. And it took this year for me to literally step out on faith and do what I need to do for him. So during all that, I was making myself sick because I worried so much. We was in a car accident. He couldn't tell me if he was hurt. And that was hard enough there because I was hurt. I was injured. I hurt my back pretty bad. And I had already had back problems since high school. But you have to keep going, keep pushing it. And stress literally puts a strain on your body. Oh my goodness. It puts a strain on your body. So I had to stop working. My doctors told me to stop working. But you know who told me to stop working a long time ago? God. Like, literally spoke to me so many times. Like, you have to do something different. You have to be there for him. It took me to get injured. So the doctors told me I wasn't able to work again. And it wasn't a physical injury. So, no, I don't have a broken arm. No, I don't have a broken leg. But my injuries are internal. I got inflammation in my back, inflammation in my chest, which will lock up my muscles in my body. That comes from stress as well. But enough about me. Enough about me. But me being able to be there for him, and I pray more, the closer I get to God, the more I see the light. I'm no longer in the dark. That's the reason why I'm able to tell you this story. But it takes you to go through a lot of things and him to break you for you to actually and accept the fact that you are broken. For him to be able to help you and heal you, he will take you down to your knees. And sometimes you need that. You need it. You can't blame everything on the devil. You can't. You can't blame everything on the devil, because sometimes you make mistakes. But he's talking to you. Listen. Listen. Because I did. And I seen the light. So, of course, you can be blinded by the light when you first get out the dark. Okay? And it's okay. As long as you stay strong, he will always be there with you. And my baby has taught me so much. And I'm so grateful, because without the Lord, I literally could not get through this. I'm surrounded by so many people that love him. And if you knew this young man, his personality is amazing. He is so funny. He is so funny. But it took me to get out of the dark in order to be able to help him. My pastor prays for him. My mother prays for him. My family members and my friends prays for him. And I pray for him as well. There's help out there. I'm going to find it. He is doing so much better, but he needs more help. He now has what you call a tick syndrome, and it came out of nowhere. He can be walking, and all of a sudden, he can lose control over his body. I went and got him tested, and they say that they can't find out what's wrong with him. But I know that he's going to find help. I would never give up on him, because God hasn't given up on me. And he shows me daily, Mom, I got this. I'm strong. You don't have to worry. Day by day by day, he's showing me great accomplishments. For the first time. And how many years has he been in school? 3, 4 years? 5 years? Oh. How many years has he been in school? He went on a field trip. He got his face painted. He stayed the whole field trip. There was no incidents, accidents, no injuries, no nothing. And he came back and was so happy. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how happy he was. And if it weren't for the people that surrounded him daily, I couldn't be happy. I had to accept being able to allow other people to be in his life as well. It couldn't just be me and him. As much as I wanted it to be, it couldn't be just me and him. And because he's learning, and you gotta allow them to learn. So don't beat yourself up. It's gonna be okay. And if anybody has any information, I know I rambled, I talked a lot about a lot of different things. This won't be the last video that I'm gonna do, but this is just me giving you some information on autism and what we have as a parent, as a mother, father, aunts, grandparents, because there's a lot of grandparents out there raising autistic children because a mother and a father could not take care of them or could not deal with it. If there's any information that you have for me that would help me, especially with the tic syndrome, I haven't gotten that much help for that. And I am asking for help. I give you some information about it. It really helps around his allergy season. It just comes about. He can just be walking, or he can be sitting there and just all of a sudden he just ticks, or he'll lose control over something, over his legs, his arms, or his face even. But I will introduce you to him one day. That day is coming. But his name is Mark. The day he was born was the day I was marked. I was marked to be an amazing mother to him. I was marked to be able to protect him, provide for him, and pray for him. And each and everybody has been marked or will mark someone. Just make sure it's a positive mark. Try your best not to leave a negative mark on anybody or anything, because you never know what the results will come from. So continue to mark the world daily. Stay positive, prayed up, and blessed. You will be hearing from me again. And this is my story on Mark and myself. If I didn't say my name before, I am Mashika. And I hope I didn't give you too much information. I hope I didn't scare you. And this was hard for me to do. Really hard for me to do. I'm not the one to tell anybody about my life. But I felt like I needed to. So, thank you. Oh my gosh, it feels so much better to be able to get this off my chest. I love you all.